Hello Skinnies, Nick here. Happy Sunday. It's been such a good weekend, but unfortunately, yesterday I started feeling a little bit like under the weather, not sick, just like a bit of a migraine. I've been getting a lot of migraines over the last few weeks. And so today I've just been suffering with it. So please excuse me if I seem a little bit more flat than usual, but I'm very excited about this live AMA tonight, and I'm ready to answer as many questions as I possibly can before my voice gives out. I've been losing my voice today, so we'll see how I go. Might be on the verge of maybe coming down with something, I don't know, we'll see. But I have so many amazing questions to answer, but I'll wait for a few people to log in and then I'll get started on some information about Skinny Mediterranean, because that's what we're all here for, right? I'm very excited. I'm always very excited though. It's nothing new. I should get excited. It's an amazing book. All right, we have quite a few people logging in now, so I'll get started. So Skinny Mediterranean is coming October 10th. The countdown is now on. We're about 2 weeks out, I think it's like 10 days out or something. I don't know. It's getting close, and I'm super pumped for it. So pre-sale starts on Friday, the 10th of October at 8 p.m. South Australian time. Pre-sale, obviously you purchase your book and then you get an immediate free digital copy that you can download, so you can get cooking straight away. And then the books usually get shipped out at a later date. So I think we're sort of expecting, where are we? We're expecting book postage to be, where are we? I'm trying to see. In November, sort of a 2 to 3 week period. So books should arrive in time for Christmas. So make sure if you're thinking about what to get someone for Christmas this year, Skinny Mediterranean 100% should be under the Christmas tree. Now, it's got over 60 recipes in it. I actually just wrote another recipe for it yesterday that we're going to sneak in for Spanish hot chocolate. So I'm saying over 60 because who knows? Maybe I'll write another cocktail recipe for it or something like that. I always like to pack as much content into the books as possible. Now, Mediterranean, so we're talking Greek, Italian, Spanish, French. We've got some Moroccan, Middle Eastern, so many beautiful, really, really gorgeous fresh cuisines in there. And it is without a doubt the healthiest book that we've ever written, I think. And so I'm also very excited about that. Now we have a special price of $58.95 during the pre-sale, and then it's going up to $63.95 after the pre-sale finishes, and that's a free Australian shipping, and then we'll be doing discounted international shipping for those of you who live overseas. AfterPay, of course, is available, and we're still doing our golden tickets, so we will have 6 golden tickets up for grabs this book launch, and there'll be extra tickets as well available for the Cook the Book competition that we do, but stay tuned for more information on that, because that's always very exciting, and it's amazing to see how many people in the community get behind cooking absolutely every recipe from the book, and all for a chance to join our amazing development team. Grandma's Pantry. Now, for those of you who are new to Skinnymixers, because maybe you bought a brand new TM7 during the TM7 machine launch, Grandma's Pantry are an amazing small company in Queensland who support Skinnymixers, and we support them. They do spice packs for all of our cookbooks, and they're phenomenal. So this is something that we do together. I don't get paid to promote them. I don't earn an affiliate link or anything off of the spice packs. We just promote each other, and they're a beautiful family who I really love, and they give us a couple of spice packs to give away. We have a spice pack to give away tonight, actually, as a little competition for the best question asked during the Ask Me Anything portion of this live. So if you haven't got your question in yet, get it in now. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can tonight on the live, but we've had so many questions come through that I'm going to probably have to answer some of them after the live, just on typing, like I'll reply, and then we'll announce the best question and the winner of the Grandma's Spice Pack, Grandma's Pantry Spice Pack in a day or two. So essentially, for those of you who are new to Skinnymixers, what it does is it gives you everything you need to cook the book apart from the fresh ingredients and maybe a couple of things like rice or something like that. But you get these amazing spice packs and it will give you enough of everything to cook the recipes multiple times through. So this spice pack here, is, where are my notes? $79.90 between the 23rd of September and the 10th of October. So if you grab a pack now, it's discounted. It will go up to $83 after October 11th. And if you use the discount code SKMix, you get, I'm fairly certain it's 10% off. So make sure you check them out and please support Grandma's Pantry. They're a beautiful family, but also, you know, their spices are so much better and so much cheaper than what you spend at Coles and Woolies. So get behind them. Now, what else have we got? We'll be starting the skinny teas tonight. So if you are wondering what that is because you're new to the community, our development team, 160 plus beautiful people from across the world. Every time I write a recipe, they test it and they share it with their family and friends and they give feedback so that we can make sure the recipes are as good as possible and they work properly. Now, when they cook the recipes, they take photos, and then during the skinny teas period of time, we give them free rein to start sharing their pictures so that you can see what the food looks like when just normal home cooks are cooking it. All of my photography in the books are as they come out of the machine. Like, it's not like I'm, you know, putting, I don't know, whipped cream, shaving cream on it or anything crazy like that. There's no plastic fake burgers or anything. It's all real food as it's come out of the machine. But of course, I've been doing this for 12 years, so I'm getting pretty good at food styling. And I have all beautiful plates and stuff like that, which always makes things look even prettier than them just coming straight out and putting it on a plate, like a normal dinner plate. So I think it's a really cool part of our book launch where you do get to see what the food looks like for just a normal house. So yeah, please support our amazing development team in commenting and liking their posts, because they are just everyday people who do this for the love of Skinnymixers, and they get so excited about sharing it with you all because they have to keep it a secret during the development period. So they're very excited. So please support them, and please keep the positive vibes going, you guys, because they are beautiful people who deserve all the praise in the world for what they've done over the last couple of months writing this cookbook with me. What else have we got? The shopping list is now available. If you would like the full contents list and shopping list to be sent to your DMs, just comment on this live with contents and it'll get sent to your private messages. Yeah, what else have we got? I feel like I've covered all of the housekeeping stuff. So there will be an ultimate skinny bundle with skinny barbecue entertaining Asia, America, and Mediterranean at a really discounted price. So if you haven't purchased any of the other books before, just hold off until book launch and grab them all at a much cheaper price. And we've got a couple of bonuses that we're including for free as a thank you gift. So we have, where are we? Bonuses. We've got the recipe list to download. That gives you a quick guide on where to find what recipe and what book. We've got a cook the book sheet plus a 30-day meal plan of the Skinny Mediterranean dinners. And then we've also got a dump bag guide. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's where we teach you how to make up freezer packs of the recipes to chuck into your slow cookers, so that you don't have to do any meal prepping at all. You can just grab it out the freezer, chuck it in your slow cooker, and you'll come home to a beautiful cooked meal. So I'll talk more about that in a little bit. Covered shipping. All right, I think I've covered everything. We're doing spend and save. So if you spend $100, you get 10% off. $250, you get 20% off. And if you spend $500 or more, you get 25% off. I feel like that's, I feel like I've covered everything in terms of all the stuff I want to talk about. So I'll get started on the questions if you guys are keen. Now, Kyla Peters, what parts of the Mediterranean are these recipes inspired by? So we have, you know, stuff from Spain, Morocco, Turkey, Lebanon, the Middle East. We also have the classic Mediterranean flavors of Italian, Greek, French, you know. Essentially, we tried to cover as many countries that are on the Mediterranean Sea as possible. And I think we nailed it. It's not just a book full of Italian and Greek recipes, which is, you know, when I started writing the Mediterranean book, that's honestly what I was thinking was Mediterranean was Greek and Italian. I had no idea that so many more countries are on the Mediterranean Sea and what is actually constitutes a Mediterranean country. So I was so excited when I saw that Turkey, Lebanon, what else? Spain, Morocco. I was so excited when I found out all of those countries are also part of the Med, because I've wanted to write recipes from those countries for a very long time. So yeah, of course, a lot of the recipes come from my heritage, being Pontian Greek. Some of them come from my family, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think of those ones, because I think in the past books where I've shared some of Mum and Dad's recipes, they've gone exceptionally well. So yeah, you're going to love it. Now, Cook with Robin, what's the best tiramisu recipe? Tiramisu? Sorry, I told you I've got a migraine. You've made? Well, obviously it's the easy tiramisu in the book. We have the best tiramisu recipe. It is so good. Everyone I've given that to has had their minds blown. And it's so easy as well. It's honestly the easiest dessert you'll ever make. So get into that one, you guys. You're going to love it. That one is really, really good. Brianne Cassandra, is there a recipe that hits the mark like the dinner's 2 curried mince? Easy to keep ingredients on hand, so easy to make, versatile, super quick and budget friendly. Look, I think the pasta e fagioli is definitely along those lines. If you haven't heard of that before, it's a soup. It's kind of like an Italian soup. It's got white beans in it. It's got a little bit of pasta. It's I think a better version of a minestrone. If you want to add meat to it, you can add some crispy bacon on top, or add bacon to the Thermomix while it's cooking. But that one is incredibly quick. And we've got a couple of really, really lightning fast recipes in the book as well. So I think you'll be very happy with what we've put together in this book for that kind of category. Leah Channon, I hope I've said that properly. What has been your favorite recipe that you've created from the book, and why? That's really hard. I think I had a dream about the Slovakia chicken bowl, and I really love that recipe. Grant, being co-author, he wrote quite a few really great recipes for this book. If I had to pick a recipe that he wrote that is my favorite, it would be the doner kebab. It is phenomenal. Like, the flavor is so intense and so yummy. So that's definitely up there. And the galata burgo, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's like a custard pie pastry thing, like a slice, like a Greek custard slice. I really, really love that one. So yeah, I am so excited about that recipe. Actually, I think you guys are going to love it. Brittany Kerber, what recipe do you think will be the most cooked? That's a good question. We always go into book launch thinking we know what the most popular recipe is going to be, and then I'm always surprised every time with what it actually ends up being. I think my pick for the most popular recipe is going to be the hidden veg bolognese risotto. I think that that's going to be the #1 cooked recipe. Just looking. Yeah, so the bolognese risotto with hidden veg. I think that's going to be, I reckon I'm picking that. That is the #1 thing, I think. I think that'll be the most popular recipe. But we'll see. Who knows? Well, time will tell. Chords 899. As someone who doesn't have a Thermi at the sec, how friendly are your recipes for stovetop or oven? So all of the recipes have non-Thermomix instructions. We call it conventional cooking. Obviously, having a Thermomix makes cooking the recipes a lot easier, but don't worry, you don't have to have one. We teach you exactly how to do it without a Thermi. How many recipes have dill in them? Steph Oxley, how many recipes have dill in them and why is it not all of them? 5 recipes have dill. So you'll get your dill fix, don't worry. Deb Kelly, does the Skinny Mediterranean book contain a scratch and smell section? That's funny. Oh, that's hilarious. Teresa Adams, my question for the new book is, what recipe either have evoked the best memory or created a desire to have a holiday in the place it's attributed to? Can imagine there's so many special memories from the food you included, but also the desire to create more through food, sharing it with family and friends, either at home or on holidays. Love the work you and your team do. Oh, that's so sweet. Look, there's 2 recipes that immediately came to mind. The galata burko, because for me, as a child growing up, when we would go to family functions like weddings and, you know, christenings and stuff like that, I would always run straight because Greeks put the desserts out at the start of the night and you have to suffer through looking at them on the table all night until dessert is called. And I would always run to the table and see if someone had made galata burko because it's my favorite dessert in the world. So that's definitely high up for me as far as such a good memory growing up and just eating that dessert, and I love it. One of the other ones that I thought of immediately is the nudi, which is like a naked ravioli. When I was in Florence, I went to an amazing cooking school that's actually owned by a Skinnymixer, and she taught me how to make nudi, and I've wanted to do a recipe for it ever since. And it's so bloody delicious. So it's a very fond memory for me being there in her beautiful kitchen. It was like something out of a dream. I can't even begin to I think I've got some photos of it, and I'll share some photos on social media once I've dug them up of just how beautiful her kitchen is and how warm she was. And I just loved Florence so much. And I actually went there at a really difficult time in my life. And I just had such a positive experience at that cooking class. And I was just so excited to come home and to get cooking and everything that it's a very fond memory for me. So I'm very excited for you guys to try that recipe as well. Amanda, my GP has suggested I follow the Mediterranean diet. Is this book perfect for me? Is Mediterranean style food the same as the Mediterranean diet? So this book is perfect for you. It's not a diet book by any means. I want to make that clear. But so many of the recipes fit into what you would consider safe for the Mediterranean way of eating and the Mediterranean diet. So obviously there are some pasta recipes and bread recipes and stuff like that, but there's a very good balance of, because it was so difficult not to make the book 100% pasta. I kept coming up with so many good ideas. Sorry, my kids are... What are you doing, Pat? Sorry, my kids are being noisy. I had so many ideas for different pasta recipes that I wanted to include. And when it came down to it, I was like, oh, I can't put that one in. I can't put that one in because it was just going to end up being a book full of pasta. And I really didn't want to do that. I really wanted it to be more about the healthy foods from the Mediterranean as opposed to all like, hang on, girls. Sorry. I wanted it to be about the fresh flavors of the Mediterranean, but of course we have the cheeky pasta recipes in there too. So it's all about balance, right? Kirsten, as you've been working and playing with the recipes in this book for a little while, which area would you look at starting with first? Do you have a few that you feel pair together perfectly as a recommendation to start with? Oh, I think you have to make the stock concentrate first. And I always talk about this in my cooking classes that I do. Chicken stock concentrate is the cornerstone of every single Skinnymixers recipe pretty much. And if you're not making it, you are missing out on the recipes tasting next level amazing. So this is a challenge for those of you out there. If you're brave enough to admit in the comments that you haven't made chicken stock concentrate before, I want to challenge you all. You've got 13 days to make one batch of chicken stock concentrate. Let me know if you do it, and it'll make my fortnight because it does improve the flavor of the dishes so much. In terms of like recipes that work together really well, there's a combination of recipes in the book that I happen to think is one of the most delicious things you'll ever eat in your life, which is the pita pockets, the pomegranate pulled, like, what did we end up calling it? Hang on. Lamb. Where are you, lamb? The slow roasted pomegranate molasses lamb. The muhammada, which is like a smoky roast capsicum dip. And the labna. Those combination of those flavors is out of the stratosphere with flavor. So I'm really excited for that combination and you guys trying that. It is truly one of the most delicious things you'll ever eat in your life. Grant actually wrote the recipe for the lamb and it's phenomenal. So I'm really excited for you to try that. Jill Koinakis, can I use my TM5 for these recipes? I don't own a TM7. So every single recipe has been written to work in the TM31 all the way through to the 7. I got my TM7 at the start of developing this book pretty much, towards the start of it, and I've made sure that every recipe works in the TM7, TM6, TM5, and TM31. That's the amazing thing about having our development team is that we've all got different machines, so I make sure that they all work perfectly, no matter what. Hiccups. Okay, Lynn Plom. Thank you, looking forward to it. How many and which recipes will have dump bag options? So we've got, when you purchase during pre-sale, you will get a free dump bag guide. There's 9 recipes with printable labels and instructions. So we've got the pasta e fagioli, the Italian wedding soup, creamy tomato and white bean stew, Moroccan pumpkin tagine, creamy pesto chicken, doner kebab meat, slow roasted pomegranate molasses lamb, slow cooked lamb ragu, and the slow cooked basilla. Now that will be available. So that's a free bonus during pre-sale. And then after pre-sale, we'll be selling it as an ebook. So just keep that in mind. If you do want the freezer bag, the dump freezer bag guide, make sure you purchase during pre-sale so you get it for free. Nourished Home, Thermo Living. I've always dreamed of visiting Greece. Which recipe in Skinny Mediterranean gives you that sitting by the ocean in Santorini feeling? This is such a good question. Thank you so much for asking this one because this is the perfect question for me to answer. I went to Santorini, I don't even remember, it was like 2015 or something, when we were writing A Little Taste of Greece. And I think the food in Santorini is generally terrible. It's not a great example of Greece, I don't think. It's It's a beautiful place, beautiful, and so much heritage and beautiful like little Greek Orthodox churches and stuff like that. But it's also a heavily tourist town. So, you know, it's a bit like going to Venice. You have to kind of hunt around for some of the more authentic spots to eat. One of the things that I ate in Santorini the most though was the Santorini tomato fritters. And it's not something that I've ever seen anywhere else in the world. And I've never seen them on a menu here in Australia. Hey.
Hello.
You can come say hi if you want. Okay. I've never seen Santorini tomato fritters on menus here in Australia. And I actually wrote this recipe. Sorry. They're so distracting. I actually wrote this recipe years ago and I've been saving it ever since. So I'm really excited for you to try that because I have a very distinct memory of sitting on the coast of Santorini in a restaurant and choosing the tomato fritters because I didn't know what they were and just being mind blown at how delicious they were. So yeah. I'm very excited about that one, and I think that one will make you feel like you're sitting in Greece. Wendy Williams, do you have help to create these recipes, or are the recipes your creation? They sound amazing. So we have our development team, of course. They help me inordinately. Every recipe we write, they test and they give us feedback on how to improve it and stuff like that. Grant co-authored the book with me, so he wrote a handful of the recipes. In fact, some of the best recipes in the book he wrote. He's a phenomenal recipe developer. And then Mezzy helps too as well. So Mez is in the kitchen with me every day, just giving me her opinion, pretty much. That's what one thing we know about Mez is she's very good at telling me if she likes something or not. And that's why I love her. Yeah. Nadine Johnston, if you were to cook from the new book, what recipe would you make and freeze for easy defrost reheat meals? Great question. I think that the slow cooked lamb ragu is up there with one of the best meal prep recipes that we've ever created. It's so easy to make and it just comes out so well and you can use it so many what's up? No.
Read my message. Why?
You can't go to the servo. Why? It's pitch black outside. No. 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 Sorry, no.
Why?
I said no, buddy. It's literally like pitch black. Sorry, you guys. It's literally pitch black outside. I'm live at the moment. Just give me some time, okay? Teenage boys. He wants to go for a walk to the servo and it's literally 8:30 p.m. at night. Pitch black. Where was I? Where was I? Oh, what's good for meal prepping and reheating? The basela, which is like, I think it's a Lebanese stew. The creamy tomato white bean stew is really good. Yeah, phenomenal recipes that can be frozen and reheated. Kay Thurgood. Hi Nick, congratulations on the new book. My question is, a Mediterranean diet has always been associated with healthy fats, keeping insulin levels stable and reducing belly fat. So do the recipes in your new book follow these principles? Absolutely. So I'm of the opinion that it is the healthiest book we've ever written. It's more full of fresh fruit and vegetables than any other book we've ever created. It's got vegetables, legumes, lots of olive oil. I'm really very, very proud of how we took a cuisine that could have been very starch heavy with a lot of pastas and a lot of breads. Even though those things are still in there, we've balanced it out really well with some of the best vegetarian and some of the best, veggie loaded recipes that we've ever created. So I think you're going to find this is absolutely the most healthiest book we've ever written. And I'm very, very, very proud of that fact because it's really bloody hard to avoid doing all of the beautiful cream-based Italian dishes. Karen Davis, if your Mediterranean book was a person, would it be more like a Greek grandma feeding you until you burst, or an Italian nonna chasing you with pasta? That's really funny. I think that both nonna and yaya are chasing you at the same time. That's what this book is, 100%. Jodie Webster, where is Grant? Did he help with developing this book? So, of course, Grant helped developing the book. Grant has done an amazing thing, and I'm so proud of him. He has opened a restaurant. It's on Henley Beach Road in Torrensville. It's called Smoke and Good. For everyone out there in Adelaide, or if you're visiting Adelaide, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for dinner, and then Sunday for lunch, his restaurant is open. It's barbecue, American barbecue. The food is flippin' phenomenal. Like, every weekend I crave it, and everyone I know that's gone there has raved about it. Now, unfortunately, it's like booking out every weekend, so you do have to actually book to be able to go in. But I'm very proud of Grant for doing this. He's really stepped out and done something amazing. And of course, he's still like, he still comes in and works on recipes and stuff like that. But this has been a dream of his for many years. And Mez and I and Stacey and our families, like, the kids, everyone, we're just so proud of what he's doing and how hard he's working. And it's been so lovely every day to hear how many Skinnymixers have gone in to eat his food and introduce themselves to him. So yeah, I'm very proud of him. And if you're in Adelaide, or if you're visiting Adelaide, you must visit his restaurant. It's called Smoke and Good. He's there every day it's open. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday for dinner, and then Sunday for lunch. Phenomenal food. Jasmine Brogan, were there any recipes you thought had to be in the book but decided not to put it in the book after testing, and why? That is a good question. So growing up, Mum would make a soup. We call it fakir. It's like a Greek lentil soup. My mum actually gave me her recipe for the book, and when I wrote it, like when I converted it to Thermomix and stuff like that, I really wanted to include it, but when I was looking at the final list of the recipes, I felt like it was probably more of a free recipe rather than a recipe that should take up a spot in the book. So it didn't make it into the book. It doesn't mean that it's not an amazing recipe. It is an amazing recipe, but I just thought a lentil soup is kind of a hard sell. And it is it's peasant food, so it's a very simple recipe. And so don't mistake peasant food with not being incredibly delicious, by the way. So anyway, that's a good example of when we make the decision to take a recipe and put it on the blog for free. So that will be coming out at some stage after book launch as a free recipe for you all to enjoy. Debbie Humble, is the format the same as your previous books and meals? Can they be halved as I live alone? Absolutely. So we still have halved and doubled variations. We also teach you how to use a slow cooker and an air fryer as well. So lots of added value in the book. So don't stress if it's just you. We still have all the half variations like normal. Andy Roberts, which recipe is your favorite that's already a regular meal in your house? So the confit artisan bread, my daughter Lani absolutely loves that recipe. She ate, I would say, 3/4 of a loaf in one day, which I have no problems with because she is an athlete, so she can eat as much bread as she likes. She also really loves the halloumi recipe. It's like a vegetable and halloumi skewer, marinated. Phenomenal recipe. She loves halloumi. She eats it probably 3 times a week, I'd say. And so that one is definitely a regular in our house. And I think you guys are going to love it. That's a really good one. Isla, what was the most challenging recipe to develop in Skinny Mediterranean, and how many attempts did it take to perfect, please? So this is a fun story. The galat de Burgo, I've avoided doing a recipe for it for so many years because at the end of the day, it's custard in phyllo pastry with tons of butter and a sugar syrup. And so, you know, in my head, I couldn't really wrap my head around how to actually make it healthy. The first time I made it, I thought I would try spraying the layers of phyllo with cooking spray instead of butter and oil. That was a failure. I made it, I think, 4 or 5 times that weekend until I kind of got the idea of how to fix it. Then I did it again, and then I did it another time on top of that. So I reckon I probably did it maybe 8 times until it was what I considered to be perfect, because the first few versions that I wrote, the custard was eggy and it wasn't sweet enough and the pastry wasn't crisping up properly. So, you know, those things are really important to get right. And I wanted it to be a healthier version of galat burgo, but I still wanted it to taste the way that it was meant to taste. So pleased to report that we absolutely nailed it. And I can imagine that it's going to be on so many Christmas tables this year for Christmas, because it's such a good recipe and you can make it ahead of time. And it's one of those things that is so delicious that I think your families and friends will absolutely be thrilled if it's on your Christmas table. Oh, Cyan's just given me a note. She says it's important to let you all know that we have pronunciations in the book. So if you don't know how to pronounce galat burgo, for example, someone said they call it galactic booty call. So we have pronunciations for some of the recipes in the book that have more interesting names. Like one of the recipes is ladenia, but it's spelled ladenia. Just little things like that I think is important to teach you how to actually say it properly. Hayley Jade. What would you suggest as the best kid-friendly meals to try in the book? Hands down, the first recipe you have to try is the bolognese risotto with hidden veg. That is mind-blowing. I can't describe to you how tasty it is and how easy it is. And it has a ton of hidden veg in it as well. You cannot tell there's veggies in it. So I think that is high up there as one of the best recipes in the book. And I do genuinely believe that fussy kids will love it. My kids are super fussy and they smash bowls of it. So that's a good start. I think the lamb ragu is going to be also very popular as a kid-friendly meal. The pastina, which is like a simple Italian pasta soup. It's got parmesan cheese and butter in it. It's very simple, and my kids love it. So I think that's going to be very popular. I think the keftedes with hidden veg, so you can make your own wraps, will be popular amongst kids. There's just so many, like there's heaps. There's a pasta al forno that will definitely be very popular with kids. It's kind of a bit like an Italian pasticcio, to put it simple. Yeah. Elizabeth A. White. Sorry, I just got to put my blanket over me because I'm getting cold. How long did it take you to pull all these recipes together in Skinny Mediterranean? So ever since I wrote the Little Taste Of series, where I went to France, Italy, Spain, and Greece, I have been writing this book. So there were so many recipes that I wanted to include in the Little Taste Of series that I couldn't, because they're very small books and very short recipes. So I have literally been working on this book probably for about 5 years. 5 years, I reckon. There's so many recipes that I have been in the back of my mind and have been on lists, and I've saved them because I knew one day I would write this book. And I'm just so thrilled that you guys finally get to see it. Yeah. Vinicon, what recipe is the one that you created or learnt from your yaya, mum or aunties that best reminds you of your childhood? Ooh, that's a good question. Just trying to see. Man, there's so many recipes. Every time I'm looking at it, I keep thinking of different things to say. We would make keftedes a lot growing up, but this recipe is a bit different. That's why I was kind of thinking about how to put it. This recipe has hidden veg in it, so it is a little bit different to what I grew up with, but you can't tell that it's got hidden veg in it, if that makes sense. That one's definitely one that, I mean, that's a staple in Greek cuisine. They're a really flavorful, herby meat risol kind of thing, if you don't know what keftedes are. What else have we got? Tracy Hume, so many great questions. I'd love to know more about the book creation process, the stages from inception to production. Which stage is the most challenging? I'm curious about the research that went into this book, the editing processes and how you chose all the different recipes. Tracy, that's a really great question, and it's one that I can answer from my perspective, but it's really only a portion of the actual truth of what book development is, because like I have my parts to do, right? So I write all of the recipes, I write the contents list. Obviously I get input from the dev team and from Cyan and Mez and Grant, but I usually will write the first sort of version of the contents list. I write all of the recipes, I photograph all of the recipes, and then I film all of the content for the recipes. Now, Cyan and Brooke, they do all of the adaptations, they do all of the actual formatting, they do all of the, basically they do all the work. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously what we do is also a lot of work, but what they do is the kind of stuff that is very time consuming. They do all of the testing feedback forms for the development team. They pull together collate all of the data for Christy, who does our nutritional panels. So there's so many processes that all fall into place to actually get it to a final book. The first thing that I like to do, once I've decided what the next book's going to be, I start writing a big list of as many recipes that I can think of, that from the top of my head, from my experiences with travel and eating out and family and friends and stuff like that. Once I've gotten as many recipes out of my head as possible into the like contents list, then I post it to the development team and I ask them what recipes they want to see in the book. And then I start doing research as well. So I start, looking online at a lot of Wikipedia. Like I spend a lot of time on Wikipedia researching cuisines. I have found that is such a powerful tool when trying to decide, especially with cuisine-based cooking and cookbooks, trying to decide what recipes will go into the book. Wikipedia gives me so many good ideas. And then from there, I sort of try and break it up into categories, but the categories are never finalized until really very close to book launch. So you can't finalize categories and what recipes go in which section until you do a big page layout, if that makes sense. It's very hard. I wish I could explain this better to you all, but it's very complex. And I'm very, very glad that I have Cyan. Her brain is perfect in how she can conceptualize page layouts and spreads and sections of books and how many pages and recipes can fit into a section to make sure that it prints on the big, I don't know. It's amazing what she does. I can't do it. My brain doesn't work like that at all. And so from there, I then start developing. And usually what I like to do is start from the top of the list and work my way down, because otherwise I'll just constantly pick my favorite ones that I want to work on as opposed to some of the more challenging ones, for example. So I tend to just list down and then go from there. Then once a recipe is written, I will usually photograph it straight away so I don't waste the food. And then I type it up. Then Cyan will put it into the development team, which is a Facebook group, and she'll put the guide up, and then the development team will start cooking it. The development team, when they're cooking, they have to weigh every ingredient down to the gram and record every single ingredient for measurement. And then they also have to record a pre-cooked weight and a post-cooked weight so that our nutritional panels are very, very, very close to being perfect, which is incredibly important for people who have diabetes and stuff like that. So we take nutritional panels very seriously. They're not just something that we've plugged into MyFitnessPal. I would say one of the most time-consuming things is collecting all the data to make sure our nutritional panels are as spot-on perfect as possible. Then the development team have a Google form that they fill out, and that all goes into a big database that we can review all of the feedback, and then I make adjustments as we go. If people cook a recipe and we have 20 people say it's too salty, we'll very quickly update the recipe to change it a little bit so that no one else cooks it and says the same thing. So it's really cool how we can adapt on the fly, I think. Yeah. Then what happens? Then we do our cover shoots. Then we pass all of once, Cyan and Brooke have written all the adaptations and stuff like that, a big master document goes through to our designer, Jackie, and she starts building the book from scratch. And then, yeah, there's so much more that goes into it, but then we start proofreading, which is a nightmare. And then, yeah, then there's all marketing, of course, happens. So once we start marketing, that's me going live and creating video content and QR codes. And then Cyan and Brooke have to start building all of the website pages for each of the recipe and making sure that all of the tips for the recipes are in there and the helpful videos and stuff like that. Mez does the flat lays, which is... So for each recipe, we lay out all of the ingredients so you've got a visual guide of the ingredients and how to cut the vegetables or the meat, what brands of products we use. She'll lay them out for me and I'll snap the photo. That's a very time-consuming process, and we can't actually do that until the recipes are finalized. So we tend to have to do that in the 2 weeks before book launch. So it's quite a lot of work. We still have probably, I don't know how many, maybe like 15 to 20 more flat lays to do. So that's what we're going to be doing this week. Yeah, there's still quite a lot of work to do, but that's fine. Yeah, I hope that gives you at least a little bit more of an insight into how the process works. There's still so much more that goes into it than what I've explained, but at least you get an idea. And yeah, I hope I've given you a good amount of insight. Well, I feel like 8:48. I feel like I've talked for long enough, you guys. So I'm just going to quickly recap on some of the things that I wanted to cover for Skinny Mediterranean. So just recapping, 10th of October, the book comes out, 8 p.m. South Australian time. It's got over 60 amazing recipes in it. It's $58.95 during pre-sale, and then it goes up to $63.95 after that. It includes free shipping if you're in Australia, and it's got discounted shipping for international customers. AfterPay is available, and there will be 6 golden tickets, and I will sign, I think it's the first 600 books and then 500 random books during pre-sale. So you'll hopefully get a signature if you're very, very lucky. And books will start shipping in November at some time to arrive before Christmas. So make sure you keep in mind that this is a fantastic Christmas gift if you're wondering what to get someone this year. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I hope you start to get really excited for Skinny Mediterranean. Jump over to the Facebook group because our amazing development team are going to start sharing their skinny teas photos of what they've been cooking over the last few months. So please get behind them and support them. Show them as much love on social media as you can. These people are amazing human beings who make Skinnymixers what it is. And if it wasn't for the amazing development team, the recipes wouldn't be as good as they are. And they're so excited to share their photos with you. So get behind them, you guys, and share. Like and comment on all of their posts on Instagram and Facebook if you can. All right, I love you guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.